This is Energized, a podcast about simple ways you can improve your energy. I'm Dina, a naturopath, personal trainer and wellness coach with 14 years experience working with a wide range of clients to help improve their health, fitness and overall energy. Hello and welcome to episode 24 of the Energized podcast. This week I'm talking about how sitting or prolonged sitting can affect your energy levels. Just my general health disclaimer, while I am a qualified PT and naturopath, all that I talk about in this podcast is general in nature. If you'd like individualized advice, please jump on my website, dinasavitz.com, and book in for a session with me. So I thought I would talk about how sitting affects energy levels and affects overall health this week, because since we went into lockdown back in June, I found the number one thing that I was doing a lot more of is sitting. And that's because my clients are all based online. So instead of welcoming them into my clinic, so opening the door, walking them to my clinic and then walking them out before and after a session, I simply have to press hang up on Zoom or Google Hangout, whichever I'm using. And sometimes, well, often I would forget to leave my desk. And the same for all of my other sessions. So I used to do mobile PT where I would go to someone's house and moving around, walking in and out, carrying my bag, doing all of that was the opposite of prolonged sitting. It was incidental movement around during the day. And I was reminded this week, I had one day where I was back to back with clients and then I was trying to get some things done for a new business that is coming soon. So I was registering my business name and a whole bunch of other things, trying to set things up. And before I realized, I had been sitting at my computer for, I think, almost 4 hours straight without leaving. And I was pretty tired. So I know that I'm not alone in that prolonged sitting. So I thought today I would talk about my top 3 ways to overcome that low energy or overcome that prolonged sitting so that you can A, reduce your risk of certain diseases, and B, to just get more energy, because that was the number one thing for me, was that I felt exhausted and then it affected the rest of my day as well. So I'm going to refer to a few studies that I have taken from examine.com. If you don't know that website, they do analyses of lots of different health studies, and I actually just read their email this morning, and they looked at lots of different studies and they found that the more time that you're sitting or being sedentary, there's an increased risk of death and cardiovascular disease. So they also found actually that there are health risks of increased sitting correlated with reduced levels of muscle contractions, which affects whole body energy metabolism. So, we know that we get tired, but the science is also telling us that sitting means that our muscles are contracting less, which makes sense because they're sitting there inactive, and that it is affecting the way that our body metabolizes and creates energy for us. So my top 3 tips for overcoming this. Number 1, the studies actually found that the way to combat negative health effects of prolonged sitting are to exercise 30 to 40 minutes a day. Now, the general health recommendations are to exercise 150 minutes a week. That is, for some people, sounds like a lot, but if you break it up, if you were to do 30 to 40 minutes of exercise a day, then you're actually hitting more than 150 minutes a week. So whatever kind of exercise you want to do, make sure that you're getting in at least 30 to 40 minutes a day. That's my first tip. My second tip, and this also came from the studies, is to combine physical activity with active rest. So they did a study where they looked at a group of people who liked to sit in the squatting position, right? So that's a form of active rest because when you squat, your muscles are contracting. So you need to be, you're activating those muscles, right? You're not sitting. When you sit, muscles tend to relax or stiffen up actually, especially if you're sitting at a computer with your shoulders up high. So combining some kind of physical activity with active rest is a good way to overcome that. And I know there are standing desks. So if you have a standing desk, you can do some squats while you're there. I know that a lot of people have started taking calls outdoors or meetings outdoors where you go walking. That's a really good way to combine the two. And also cycling. I know there's little steps that you can get that you can just cycle at your desk. So that again would be combining physical activity with active rest. So you're sitting at your desk doing whatever it is that you need to do for work, but you're moving your feet at the same time. My third tip is to get up and stretch and walk every 30 to 60 minutes because the studies have actually shown that, I know I talked about exercising 30 to 40 minutes a day, but they found that one session at the gym, whatever it is, whether it's weight training or yoga or cardio, whatever it is that you're doing, they found that that is not actually enough to offset being sedentary all day. So a good way to try and reduce that prolonged sitting is to get up and stretch every 30 to 60 minutes. I know 30 minutes can be tricky, especially for me. I know that because if I'm in the middle of a 45-minute or hour consultation, it's very hard for me to get up and move away from my computer. However, 60 minutes is pretty doable. So I actually have a Garmin VivoFit, which is a watch. And I know there's lots, like the Apple Watch does the same thing, Fitbits as well. And they actually send me a little reminder if I haven't moved after an hour. So that can be a good way to remind you. You can also pop some reminders in your phone, in your calendar. And yeah, just whatever you can do to keep moving throughout the day to offset the prolonged sitting, because the more you move, the more your body is going to be able to do all the necessary functions that it needs in order to provide you with energy during the day. On that note, I will just say that I have actually opened up my calendar for the end of this year. I have 3 personal training spots left at the moment. I run 6-week programs. So the way they work is 2 sessions a week, either half an hour or 45 minutes. At the moment, you have an option of doing them online or outdoors in a park. There's various times available during the week. If you would like some more information, then please send me an email, dina@dinasavitz.com, or jump on my website and book in for a free chat and we can talk more about that. I do train, I have experience training anyone from really young kids. I used to teach some classes for 2 to 5-year-olds and teenagers and young kids as well, all the way through to my oldest client was a 90-year-old man. And as part of my new venture that I'm going into, I am a qualified mum-safe trainer. So that means that I have the qualifications to be able to train women who are prenatal, so anyone who is pregnant, and also postnatal as well, safely. So get in touch if you are interested. Now to the herb of the week. This week's herb is called Schizandra. It is one of my favorite herbs. I think while I was studying naturopathy, I lived on this herb, and that's because it is really helpful for mental performance and concentration. So I found it really useful for helping me to remember things while I was studying, to concentrate while I was doing assignments. But it's also, the reason I've done it as the herb of the week this week is because it's also helpful to improve physical and exercise performance. So Also really good for fatigue, physical stress, and debility. And it helps to enhance phase 1 and 2 detoxification by the liver. So it basically helps your body process and metabolize food and everything else that you hit your body with every single day, because it's helping with the liver detoxification. Its main actions are that it is hepatoprotective, so it protects the liver. It's an antioxidant and adaptogenic. So that's my favorite action, is that it helps your body adapt to times of stress. It's a nervine tonic, antitussive, oxytocic, and a mild antidepressant as well. I use it in my clinic as both a liquid herb and in combination in capsules with other herbs. If you would like to find out more about how I can make up some herbs that can help you increase your energy and help get through the next 6 weeks or whatever it is, almost 2 months left of the year, then please get in touch, Dina at dinasavitz.com. I hope that you've learned something about reversing the effects of prolonged sitting this week. Have a beautiful week.